I have received so many inquiries from clients, those who are trying to understand what are the immigration New Zealand has announced. Is there a good news or bad news? What will happen with red list occupations? What will happen with umber list occupations? What are the requirements for trades and technician pathways? And is there any changes for current SMC pathways as well? And lots of other inquiries. So I thought let me make this video and try to help you as much as I can. But still, if you want to know more about it or if you want to discuss your case, please contact on this WhatsApp number and we will definitely get back to you and try to solve your query and try to help you as much as I can. Now let's understand what the Immigration New Zealand has announced. Okay, so let's start and understand what are the new amendments announced by Immigration New Zealand. Okay, so let's start and understand what are the new rules announced by Immigration New Zealand for residence visa of SMC. Okay, so lots of people are getting confused. Is there like health or PCC or English language also change? But I would like to say that there is no changes for health, character, and PCC. So you need to provide your medical certificate, you have to provide your police clearance certificate, and you have to provide your English test, which is overall 6.5. Next is your age is be age 55 or younger. And what are the option is meet the skill employment pathway and skill work experience pathway as set out see below. One of the following skill migrant category pathways. So there are three pathways will be. One is point based pathway, second is skill work experience pathway, and the third is trades and technician pathway. Now let's overview of each pathway. Okay, so first of all, we are going to discuss point-based pathway, which is currently is also in rule. So 6 point must be obtained from the skill category or a combination of one skill category or skill and skill work experience in New Zealand. So you need, as you maybe lots of people aware about it, you need 6 points and plus skill work experience. So for that skill employment, what you need in ENSCO skill level 1 to 3 role and paid the SMC wage threshold, or in ENSCO 4-5 role or in a role not included in ENSCO and paid at least 1.5 times the SMC wage threshold. Okay, lots of people mostly aware about this requirement. So what are the new requirements or for this SMC pathway as well? We are going to soon discuss. So pathway requirements: principal applicant must have 3 to 6 points from one of the following skill category, either from income or qualification or New Zealand registration. Okay, and plus skill work experience in New Zealand requirement. So any skill work experience in New Zealand must be paid 8 or above either the SMC wage threshold 1.3 rolls and 1.5 times the SMC roll 4 to 5. Okay. So this is one, like they are announced the good news. So skill work experience in New Zealand for the points based pathway. To qualify for points from skill work experience, principal applicant applying via the point based pathway must complete skill work experience in New Zealand prior to submitting the residence application. So you have to claim 6 points, and for work experience, 2 years in the 4 years prior to qualify for 3 points. What does it mean? So in current, if you want to claim 2 points, you need at least 2 years of work experience. Uh, but now what they are going to say, you need 2 years of if you want to claim 3 points, you need 2 years of work experience only, but that work experience must be within 4 years. So let me repeat myself. From 24th of August 2026, if you want to claim in SMC point based system 3 points, then what is requirement? You need only 2 years of work experience, and that 2 years of work experience must be complete within 4 years. And second is 1 and 6 months, that means 1.5 years in the prior 3 years to qualify for 2 points. So if you want to claim 2 points, you need only 1.5 year work experience, but that work experience must be within 3 years only. Next is 1 year in the prior to 2 years to qualify for 1 point. And if you want to claim 1 point, you have to be work, skilled work experience 1 year, but that work experience must be within 2 years only. So in simple language, 3 points, 2 years work experience must be within 4 years. 2 points must be work, 1.5 years only, and that experience must be within 3 years. 1 point should be, work 1 year and within 2 years only. Okay, hope you understand. Next is let's understand with example. An applicant began working in a role paying $28 per hour on 14th January 2023. So if we check here, 14th of January 2023, 14th of January 2022 will go here. That is SMC wage threshold was $27.76. 1.1 medium wage was $30.53. So what they are saying, an applicant began working on role $28 per hour on 14th of January 2023 when the SMC wage threshold was $27.76, and they need to accrue 2 years of work experience in 4 years prior to their SMC wage application, provided that they maintain the rate, and they are invited to apply for residence SMC before 31st of January 2023. They will be considered to meet the SMC wage threshold. So if anyone is earning on 14th of January 2023, for example, is here, which is $28, and the medium wage was $27.76. So that's more than SMC wage threshold requirement. And if they are working 2 years, then they can consider, if they are applying in 2027, that means within 4 years, then they can claim that 2 years of work experience. They don't need to earn the current medium wage, or it will not affect at all if medium wage or increase. But if you meet one time SMC wage threshold, which is at $27.76, they can apply in January 2027 within the same pay rate. Okay. Applicants claiming points for a recognized New Zealand registration, licensing, or certification must complete their skilled work experience in New Zealand after gaining that registration, license, and certification. So you must need to get registered or get licensed, and then your work experience will count. Next is for the avoidance of doubt, where an applicant's skilled work experience was obtained in ENSCO skill level 4-5 role, but their offer of employment in ENSCO skill level 1-3 role, or vice versa, their relevant SMC wage threshold in effect on the date of they begin to accrue their skilled work experience in New Zealand. So once it doesn't matter if you are working in ENSCO level 3 or 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5. If you meet 1 point time SMC wage threshold, then your skilled work experience will be considered. For example, from ENSCO skill level 1 to 3 role, you need to meet SMC wage threshold, which is this one. These all are here. And for sorry, and for 1.5 times for ENSCO skill level 4 and 5. This, if you see my cursor, this all, you need to meet. So it doesn't matter, if you change your occupation, or you change your employer. But if you are working in ENSCO 4-5 role, if you are meeting this, if you are earning this pay rate, then you can claim your work experience. And if you change your employer and start earning with this SMC wage threshold with ENSCO skill level 1 to 3, still you can count your work experience. Okay. Next is a skilled work experience. So this is the second new skilled work experience immigration has announced. So what is the requirement? Skill employment must be paid in ENSCO 1 to 3 role and paid 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold wage. Okay, and 1.2 times the SMC wage threshold for an occupation on the umber list. For this new skill work experience pathway, what are the requirements? If you are working in ENSCO skill level 1 to 3, you need to earn 1.1 time SMC wage. But if you are earning, if you are working in a umber list, then what you need 1.2 times the SMC wage threshold. What are the occupations in umber list? Let's quickly have a look. List is here: accommodation and hospitality manager, hotel and motel manager, hotel service manager, baker, bed and breakfast operator, cafe and restaurant manager, caravan park and camping ground manager, safe customer service manager, ICT customer support officer, ICT support technicians, office manager, pastry cook and web administrator. So if you are working in those occupations, you need to earn 1.2 times the SMC wage threshold from the beginning when you have started your work. Okay. Next, skill work experience pathway. So what are the skill work experience pathway? Skill employment for the skill experience pathway. Principal applicant applying by the skill experience pathway must have current employment or an offer of employment in New Zealand, that is NSCO skill level 1 to 3. If that is not listed in Appendix 22, the red list, in either 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold, 1.2 times the wage threshold if their occupation is in umber list. So when you see here, the for the skill work experience pathway, red occupation lists are not eligible to apply for this new category. What are the occupation in red lists? Is here beauty therapist, hair and beauty salon manager, hairdresser, hospitality, retail and service manager, massage therapist, retail manager. So in those occupations, they cannot apply the new skill work experience pathway. So what that can do, they can apply the point based system only. So based and in red umber list, they need 1.2 times the SMC weight threshold. Okay, so work experience requirements for skill work experience pathway. Principal applicant applying via the skill work experience pathway must demonstrate that they have at least a total of 5 years of skill work experience, at least 3 years directly relevant work experience, and at least 2 additional skill work experience in New Zealand. So if your occupation is skill level 1 to 3, then you must need to work total 5 years, and within that 5 years, 3 years you need to 3 years for relevant work experience, and 2 years in New Zealand in ENSCO 1 to 3 role only. So skill work experience must not be a 1 to 3 role. The same work experience cannot be counted for both directly relevant and skill work experience. Okay, so next is the directly relevant work experience requirements for the skill work experience pathway. So directly relevant work experience must be full time, at least 30 hours, and in occupation and skill level 1 to 3, directly relevant to offer of skill employment, and completed within 10 years immediately prior to submitting the current residence application. So that if your occupation is skill 1 to 3 level, then what you need, but your occupation should not be listed in the umber list, then full time at least directly relevant work experience, which is 30 hour 3 years you require. So for that one you need at least 30 hours per week. Next is ENSCO occupation 1 to 3, directly relevant to your skill experience, and that 3 years must be within 10 years only. Okay, and work experience must not be self-employed, so self-employed will not count. Directly relevant work experience cannot be accrued in any country, including in New Zealand. So directly relevant work experience can be accrued in any country, including New Zealand, unless the applicant's skill work experience in occupations in Appendix 21, the umber list, in which case it must be accrued in New Zealand. So directly relevant work experience, which is 3 years you required. So if your occupation is umber list, then total you need 5 years of skill work experience. You are not allowed to claim out of New Zealand work experience if your occupation listed in the umber list. Okay, as evidence of work experience, applicant must an applicant agreement or an offer or contract service agreement. So you need to provide all your work experience record, including your employment agreement, employment contract or service, earning or tax records. All you need to provide. Okay, skill work experience in New Zealand for the skill work experience pathway. So let's understand how about the for that relevant skill work experience, which is required 3 years. We have discussed. Now let's discuss about the 2 years which is required in New Zealand. So skill work experience in New Zealand for the skill work experience pathway must be directly relevant to offer of employment or skill employment, and completed within 4 years to prior to submitting the residence application, and at least they are paid 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold, and 1.2 times SMC wage threshold if your occupation is umber list. So skill work experience in New Zealand, what is required is it should be directly relevant to your skill employment or offer of employment, and next is it should be completed within 4 years only, and if your occupation ENSCO level 1 to 3, you need to earn 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold. But if your occupation listed in the umber list, then you need to earn 1.2 times the SMC wage threshold. So now let's understand with example. An applicant began working in a role paying $33 per hour on 14th of January 2024. So they have started working with in January 2024 $33. When the 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold was $32.62, which is less than which he started working. So they need to accrue 2 years of work experience in the 4 years prior to their SMC application. They will meet the SMC pay threshold provided they maintain a pay rate of $32.62 and are invited to apply for the residence visa before 13th of January 2027. Oh, sorry. So Uh, so if any for example anyone started working $33 on 14th of January 2024, but the SMC 1.1 time the SMC way threshold was $32.62. So they can, if they still working with $33 till January 2027, that means 24, 25, 24, 25, 26, 27. So almost like 3 years. So within that 4 years, sorry, so within that 4 years, they can claim 2 years of skilled work experience in New Zealand. Okay. Next, let's understand with another example. The applicant applying for the skilled work experience pathway whose occupation is not on the umber list. Again, they need 2 years of skilled work experience in New Zealand, paid 1.1 times the SMC way threshold, accrued in the 4 years prior to applying for their residence application. They begin their skilled work experience in 1st of August 2023, 10th of August 2023. So when you see here 10th of August, it will locate here. So SMC wage was $29.66 and 1.1 was $32.62. In a roll, $33 per hour when the SMC wage threshold was $32.62. So which is like more than the SMC 1.1 point, because they have started on 10th of August 2023 and the pay rate was $33. Okay, to be they must be paid more than $32.62 for both their skill employment and skill work experience in New Zealand as long as they are invited to apply before 10th of August 2027. So if you see from 23 to 27 is 4 years, and if they started working earning with $33, when the SMC wage rate was $32.62, which is more than that, then they can claim this 2 years of skilled work experience in New Zealand. They don't need to whether it's because after that, like you can see here, pay rate was increased, SMC wage threshold held was increased, but they don't need to achieve that pay rate. Okay, they need to accrue 2 years of skilled work experience in New Zealand, paid at the SMC wage threshold, accrued in the 4 years prior to applying for their residence application. Okay, I hope you understand this example as well. Okay. Next is a principal applicants applying via the skilled work experience pathway with skill employment in occupation listed umber 21. The umber list must meet the umber list requirements, which is 1.2 times the SMCA threshold plus total 5 years of work experience in New Zealand. Principal applicants with skill employment in occupation listed appendix 22, the red list, may only apply via the point-based pathway. So for the red list, which we have just discussed before this slide, so red list only can apply point-based pathway. They cannot apply any other pathway. Principal applicant must meet the SMCA threshold, including any multiplier that applies to the chosen pathway and occupation in effect at that time. They begin to accrue the skilled work experience in New Zealand that counts towards them meeting their pathway requirements. They were invited to apply residence if no skilled work experience is required, or their work experience granted if it was granted in the 5 months before the applicant began to accrue their skilled work experience in New Zealand that counts towards meeting their requirements. So this is very good news. So 5 months is their immigration New Zealand is allowing 5 months grace period. What does it mean? If your visa approved on certain date, and after 5 months, within 5 months, if you started work, and during this 5 months, if SMC pay threshold increase, then you don't need to meet that SMC pay threshold. You still can count when when your visa was approved. We are understanding that by example. Okay, so an applicant is applying via the point-based pathway in NSCO level 1 to 3. They need 2 years of skilled work experience in New Zealand, paid SMC pay threshold in 4 years prior to applying for their residence application. They had, for example, they had their work approved in 14th of January 2023 when the SMC pay threshold was $27.76. Okay, they began their skilled work experience on 13th June 2023. So visa approved on 14th of January 2023, and they have started working on 13th June. So January, February, March, April, May, June, within 5 months, in a role paying $28. per hour when the SMC wage threshold was increased $29.66. So if you see the SMC wage threshold was increased in 29 to $29.66, but he was earning $28. But because of his visa approved on 14th of January 2023, and the SMC wage threshold was $27.76. So still they can count, they can claim their work experience. So however, as less than 5 months had passed between the date of the visa approval and the commencement of their skill employment, they are considered to meet the SMC wage threshold as long as they maintain 8 or above the wage threshold in effect at the 14th of January 2023, and as long as they are invited to apply 13 June 2027. So that's good news. Like if your visa approved on 14 January 2023, and you started work actually on 13 June 2023, and during that 5 months, if SMC wage threshold increase, you don't need to even meet that increase wage threshold. It's okay, whatever visa was granted that time, the date was SMC wage threshold, you have to just earn that SMC wage threshold. I hope you understand this example as well. So despite above, applicants claiming 6.4 from the skill category and with skill employment, that is contract for service, must meet the SMC wage threshold in effect at the time they are begin their skilled work experience in New Zealand. That counts toward their experience as a contractor, and the SMC the wage threshold in effect at the time they are invited to apply for residence for their skill employment. So this if you are working as a contract for service, then you must need to earn when you are applying SMC wage threshold, that time for example currently is a $35. So if you are applying now, you must need to earn $35 per hour when you are submitting your application. But for your relevant work experience and skill work experience, that's okay, still they can you can claim. But when you are applying for their residence visa, you must need to earn current medium wage as well. Okay, so an applicant may be considered to meet the SMC wage threshold relevant to them if they meet the wage threshold that they were the basis for being invited to apply for residence application. Okay. Example, an applicant is applying via the skilled work experience pathway occupation that is not in the number list. 2 years, skilled work experience 1.1 times the SMC wage threshold accrued in the 4 years. They had their work visa granted on 14 June 2022 and began their skilled work experience 14 January 2023. As such, the grace period 5 months does not apply. So this example is opposite to the previous example. So what visa approved on 14 June 2022, but applicant has started work in January, which is June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So more than 5 months. Then the grace period will not apply. They must have to earn after the 5 months. Visa after the 5 months, the SMC wage threshold increase. That period they need to earn. So they submitted their expression of interest 13 January 2027 within the 4-year skilled work experience window, and submitted their residence visa application on 14 March 2027 within the 4-month invitation to apply period. At EOI, they were able to use the SMC wage threshold in effect on the date they began to accrue their skilled worker experience pathway going back to 4 years. In the example, they can use the SMC wage threshold on effect 14 January 2023. So they must need to earn 14 January 2023 SMC wage threshold, not the 14 June 2022, because the 5 months already passed. However, skilled work experience must be accrued in the 4 years prior to residence visa application. So only work experience completed from 14 March 2023 will be counted, as it must be completed within 48 months prior to submitting their residence application on 14 March 2027. So you must need to work. You can claim only within the 4 years. Go like from today, go back to 4 years, and if you are meeting that SMC wage threshold, you can claim this this work experience. Okay. Now let's understand about the trades and technician pathway. So trades and technician pathway must be occupation in skill level 1 to 3 in in occupation listed in trades and technician pathway, paid the SMC wage threshold, which is currently $35. Principal applicant must have level 4 qualifications and 2 years and 6 months of directly relevant work experience in a school skill level 1 to 3 completed post qualifications. Principal applicant must have 18 months of additional directly relevant work experience in New Zealand. ENSCO level 1 to 3, paid the SMC wage threshold, completed poster for qualification. We are going to understand this thing. So what they are saying, If your occupation and score level 1 2 3, you are for trades and technician pathway, you first need to gain that level qualification, and then you can start claiming your work experience pathway, and you must need to earn the SMC way threshold a minimum. Okay, sorry. So here this must be in addition to 2 years and 6 months of relevant work experience. Combine the work experience for total 4 years. So what they are saying, you need to work 2 years and 6 months directly relevant work experience, whether in New Zealand or outside New Zealand, and 18 months, 1 year and 6 months in New Zealand with ENSCO level 1 to 3. But you have to first for this or total 4 years of work experience, you need to first get qualification, and then your work experience can count. Okay, let's about the discuss about the qualification. So yes, that's good news. From master degree, if you have PhD, you can claim 6 points after 24th of August 2026. And New Zealand master degree with bachelor degree, whether in bachelor degree from overseas, you can still claim 6 points. So PhD 6 point, master degree with bachelor degree from New Zealand 6 point, and next is overseas combined master and bachelor degree. So if you have combined master degree and bachelor degree from overseas, you can claim 6 points too. Next is New Zealand master degree without bachelor degree 5 points, overseas master degree and bachelor degree 5 points, New Zealand honors degree and bachelor's degree from any country 5 points, New Zealand combined honors and bachelor degree 5 points, New Zealand postgraduate diploma and bachelor degree 5 points, New Zealand postgraduate certificate and bachelor degree 5 points, New Zealand bachelor degree only 5 points, overseas honors degree and bachelor degree 4 points, overseas combined honors and bachelor. So if you see here, mostly all immigration New Zealand is expecting you have to gain first bachelor degree plus postgraduate plus master degree plus any honors degree, then you can claim point. If you doesn't have bachelor degree, there is a high likely you cannot claim any points. Okay, thank you. Next, care workforce work to residence pathway. So I would like to give some highlight for care workforce sector, because there is also their changes. So what they are saying, same for the health character and police, same requirement is there. There is nothing change. And meet what the additional requirement is, hold a work visa or critical purpose visitor visa, and meet the acceptable employment requirements in care workforce sector, appendix 14, and meet the relevant wage rate in effect at that time. So this also good news. So they begin to accrue the work experience in New Zealand that counts to our residence requirements. Their work experience visa granted if it was granted in the 5 months before the applicant begin to accrue their work experience requirement. So same rule will apply here. What they are saying, if you see here, if you are started working, 29 from 29 September 2021 to 30 June 2022, the care work for sector, the pay rate was $27. So if someone is earning from 29 September 2021 to $27, then still they can claim, and they can apply for work to residence visa as a care work for sector. Okay, an applicant may be considered meet the relevant wage rate when they apply for residence if they meet the rate for the occupation in effect at the application described here. So for the purpose of this instruction, applicant must accrue the 24 months of work experience in New Zealand within the 30 months immediately prior to submitting their residence application. So as you are aware about it, care work for sector, work to residence, you need to work 24 months. But that 24 months must be within 30 months only. Okay. Right. So for the purpose of determining whether work experience has been completed within 30 months period, the period is calculated backwards from the date the residence visa application is submitted. So whenever you submit your residence application, that time the duration will start for total 30 months. Okay. Now, so a requirement for 20 months or 24 months of work in New Zealand in care work sector. So applicant must have worked at least 24 months in New Zealand, and in occupation of the care work sector, occupation listed appendix 14 during the 30 months period immediately before the date the residence application is made. As I said, you need to work at least 24 months, but within 30 months only. Where applicants' work visa was granted, and they begin accrue work experience in New Zealand within 5 months of the grant date, the relevant wage rate in effect at that time at the grant or date will apply. So same 5 months grace period will apply to the care work folk sector as well. Okay. So, for example, let's understand with example. A personal care assistant must be paid in hourly $28.25 per now. An applicant can start counting work experience on 29 September 2021 if they earn $27 the wage rate in effect at that time. So when you see here is 29 September 2021, 29 September 2021, the pay rate was required is $27. So when the wage requirement increases to $28.25 an hour on 1st of July 2022, they can keep counting their work experience if they still a personal care assistant earning $27 an hour. So as I said, if started work on 29 September 2021 and till if you are earning $27, you can now apply for work to residence visa with $27. You don't need to earn $28.25. So that's good news. So let's summarize our this video what the pathway is available. So pathway available: principal applicant who are current employment or an offer of employment in occupation on the applicant listed may choose to express interest, and if invited they apply through the pathway listed. So for amber list occupations they can apply point based pathway and skilled work experience pathway. Okay, and for red list only have one option, point based pathway. Next is trades and technician pathway. So for they have total three options: point based pathway, skilled work experience pathway, and trades and technician pathway. So again, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. And I know that there are still like lots of complexity for this new rule, and it's not easy to digest and understand. So if you need anything about if you need to know more about anything for the latest updates, please contact on this WhatsApp number, and I will definitely get back to you. And thank you so much for watching this video, and all the best for your journey to New Zealand. Thank you. Bye now.